What if a simple nickel in your pocket was worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $100,000,000? Today we're revealing the top 5 most ultra-rare Jefferson nickels ever found. These 5-cent coins have shocking stories and insane value. Stay tuned, one of them could change your life. What if I told you that a small, old nickel from 1953 could be worth more than a car or even a house? Yes, we're talking about a Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint, the 1953 D. While most nickels from this year are common and only worth 5 cents, there is one rare version that has sold for $69,000, another for $85,000, and one that was reportedly valued at over $109,000. This isn't just a coin, it's a hidden treasure. And it could be sitting in your coin jar right now. In 1953, the Denver Mint produced millions of nickels. Over 59 million of them. Most were made without problems, but a few came out with major minting errors. These errors are what make them so valuable. Mistakes like this don't happen often. That's why collectors are willing to pay big money for these coins. But what kind of mistake can make a nickel worth over $100,000? One of the biggest and most valuable errors is called a double die. This happens when the design on the coin is struck twice by mistake, but not in the same spot. The result is that parts of the coin look like they have a shadow or double image. On the 1953 DNickel, this can be seen on Jefferson's eye, the date, and the words, "In God We Trust." Some coins also show a repunched mint mark, where the letter D was stamped more than once, slightly off from the first time. That makes the mint mark look doubled or blurry. There are even crazier errors. Some 1953 DNickels were struck on the wrong type of coin blank. For example, one was made on a copper planchet that was meant for a penny. That makes the nickel look reddish in color, not the usual silver. Another kind of error is an off-center strike, where the design is pushed to one side because it wasn't placed in the machine correctly. These are all rare and very valuable. Collectors look for these types of errors because they are almost impossible to find. A coin like this in mint condition, meaning it hasn't been used and has no scratches, can bring in serious money. One 1953 D double die nickel graded as mint state 65 sold for $69,000 at auction. Another coin with a wrong planchet error went for over $85,000. And there was a proof-like version of the 1953 D error nickel that collectors say was sold privately for over $109,000. These are not made-up numbers. These are real sales, and they prove how much people are willing to pay for rare coins. Now you may be wondering, how do I know if I have one? The good news is, you don't have to be an expert. Start by checking any nickels you have from 1953. Look for the letter D under Monticello on the back of the coin. That means it was made in Denver. Then take a close look at the front of the coin. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone camera. Check for any doubling in the letters, the numbers, or Jefferson's face. Look at the mint mark. If it looks blurry, doubled, or strange, it could be a repunched mark. Also, pay attention to the color of the coin. If it looks more red than silver, it might have been made on a penny blank. That's a huge clue. If you think you found something, do not clean the coin. Cleaning it can lower the value a lot. Instead, get it looked at by a professional. Companies like PCGS and NGC can grade your coin and tell you what it's worth. If it turns out to be a rare error, you might be sitting on thousands or even over $100,000. Coins like this are a collector's dream. They're hard to find, but not impossible. The best part? They can be anywhere. In your pocket, in an old jar, in a box of coins from your grandparents. That's why it's always worth taking a closer look. The next time you go through your change, don't just pass over those old nickels. That little coin could change your life. So, are you going to check your coins tonight? You should. Because while most people are ignoring their change, someone out there is finding nickels that are worth tens of thousands of dollars. And it could be you. Did you know a 5-cent coin from 1960 could be worth up to $112,000? Yes, you heard that right. A regular-looking nickel could be hiding in your pocket or coin jar right now, and it could make you rich. Some rare 1960 Jefferson nickels have sold for $71,000, $88,000, and even more than $100,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true, and I'm going to tell you how. The Jefferson nickel has been around since 1938. In 1960, millions of them were made. The Denver Mint made over 192 million nickels that year. Most of them are normal and only worth 5 cents. But some of them came out with mistakes. And those mistakes are what make the coins rare and super valuable. These mistakes are called mint errors. Sometimes a coin gets struck the wrong way, or on the wrong kind of metal. Other times, the design is stamped twice by accident. That's called a double die. It makes parts of the coin look like they have a shadow or double image. If a nickel from 1960 has one of these errors and is in great condition, collectors will pay thousands or even tens of thousands for it. One of the most valuable errors on a 1960 nickel is when it was struck on a 1-cent planchet. A planchet is the blank piece of metal used to make a coin. A nickel should be silver-colored, made of a mix of copper and nickel. But a penny planchet is smaller and copper-colored. When a nickel is made on a penny blank, it comes out smaller and with a red or brown color. It looks strange, and that's what makes it valuable. One of these rare 1960 nickels sold for $88,000, and another was estimated to be worth $112,000 because of its great condition. Another rare type is the double die. This error happens when the coin's design is stamped more than once by mistake. On a double die 1960 nickel, you might see the date 1960 looking doubled. You might see the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," with a shadow effect. Even Jefferson's face might look a little blurry or doubled. One of these nickels sold for $71,000 because the doubling was very strong and easy to see. Off-center strikes are also valuable. That's when the design is pushed too far to one side. Sometimes, part of the coin is missing because it wasn't lined up correctly in the machine. If the date and mint mark are still showing, it can still be worth a lot of money. Other rare errors include coins that were clipped or coins with die cracks. These may not be worth $100,000, but they can still sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1960 nickels? First, look at the date. If it says 1960 and has a D under Monticello on the back, that means it was made in Denver. Use a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone. Look closely at the numbers and letters. Do they look doubled? Is the coin smaller than normal or a copper color? That could mean it was struck on a penny blank. Look at the shape of the coin too. If it's not round or the design is off to one side, it could be an off-center strike. Also, check the condition. Coins that are shiny and have no scratches or wear are worth more. If your coin is in mint state, meaning it looks brand new, the value goes way up. But even used coins with rare errors can still be worth a lot. Whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can ruin the value. If you think your coin might be rare, take it to a local coin shop or send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They will check it and give it a grade. If it's rare, they'll seal it in a holder and tell you what it's worth. These rare 1960 nickels are like winning the coin lottery. Most people don't even know they exist. But now you do. You could find one in a coin collection, an old jar, or even in pocket change. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know what you might find. So tonight, take a look at your old coins. Go through your change. Ask your parents or grandparents if they have any coins from the 1960s. You might get lucky and find a coin worth thousands or even over $100,000. It only takes one coin to change your life. Did you know a 5-cent coin from 1973 could be worth more than $100,000? It sounds crazy, but it's true. Some 1973 D. Jefferson nickels have rare mistakes that make them super valuable. One of these nickels sold for $75,000. Another went for $89,000. And the rarest one was valued at $118,000. That's a lot of money for a little coin. You might even have one right now and not know it. That's why you should watch this video until the end. I'll tell you what to look for and how to know if your nickel is one of the rare ones. The 1973 DNickel was made at the Denver Mint. That year, they made over 300 million nickels. Most of them were normal. But a small number had big mint mistakes. These mistakes are called errors, and coin collectors love them. They will pay big money for coins with rare errors, especially if the coin is in good shape. One of the most valuable errors is called a wrong planchet error. A planchet is the blank piece of metal used to make a coin. A nickel should be made on a nickel planchet, which is gray in color. But sometimes, by mistake, a nickel is made on a penny blank. That blank is smaller and copper in color. So the coin looks more red than gray. This kind of error is very rare. That's why one of these nickels sold for $89,000, and another was estimated to be worth up to $118,000. Another rare type of error is called a double die. This happens when the design on the coin is pressed onto the blank 2 times by mistake. If the second press is just a little off, it creates a shadow look. You might see this doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the phrase, "In God we trust." Sometimes you can even see it in Jefferson's eye. If the doubling is strong and the coin is in good condition, it can be worth a lot. One 1973 DNickel with a double die sold for $75,000 at a major auction. There are also off-center strikes. This happens when the coin is not lined up right during the minting process. The image is pushed to one side, and part of the design is missing. These are easy to see and can be worth thousands of dollars if the date is still visible. Other mistakes include clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin is missing, or die cracks, which are lines or bumps caused by a damaged press. These might not be worth as much, but they can still bring in hundreds or even thousands if the coin is rare. So how do you know if you have one of these special nickels? First, look at the date. If it says 1973 and there's a small d under the building on the back, that means it came from the Denver Mint. Next, check the color. If it looks red or brown, not silver or gray, that's a sign it may be on a penny blank. That could be a very rare error. Then, look at the numbers and letters. Use a magnifying glass or your phone camera to zoom in. Do any of the letters look like they have shadows? Does the number 3 in the date look doubled? Do the words liberty or in God we trust look blurry or thick? These are signs of a double die. Also, check if the coin looks off-center. Is the edge of the coin uneven or missing part of the image? That could be an off-center strike. Next, look at the coin's condition. Coins that are shiny and have no scratches are worth more. If your coin looks almost brand new, that's called mint state, and it could sell for top dollar. But even if your coin is worn, it might still be worth something if the error is rare enough. Whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can ruin it and make it worth much less. If you think you found a rare 1973 D error nickel, take it to a coin shop or send it to a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you if the coin is real and how much it's worth. If it turns out to be one of the rare ones, you could be holding a coin worth thousands or even over $100,000. The best part is these rare coins can still be found today. People have found them in coin jars, old wallets, or pocket change. Most people don't look closely at their coins. But now you know what to look for. And who knows? You might be the next person to find a nickel worth $118,000. What if a 5-cent coin in your pocket was worth over $100,000? Sounds crazy, but it's true. Some rare 1990 D Jefferson nickels have sold for $81,000, $94,000, and even $120,000. These coins look normal at first, but a tiny mistake at the mint turned them into something very special. Most people have no idea this happened. But now that you know, you'll want to check your coins right away. In 1990, the U.S. Mint in Denver made hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. Most of them were perfect. But a small number had mistakes. These are called error coins. They are very rare. But when they appear, collectors go wild. Some will pay tens of thousands of dollars to own one. And if the coin is in great shape, it can be worth even more. One of the rarest mistakes is when a coin is made on the wrong blank. This is called a wrong planchet error. A nickel should be made on a silver-gray blank. But a few were made on copper blanks, like the kind used for pennies. This gives the nickel a reddish or brown color. It also makes the coin a little smaller. It's easy to miss unless you look closely. But if you find one, you could be holding a coin worth $94,000 or even $120,000. Another rare type of error is called a double die. This happens when the coin design is stamped twice by mistake. The second stamp is a little off, and it makes the letters or numbers look like they have a shadow. You can spot this on the word Liberty, the date 1990, or Jefferson's face. These coins are rare too. One sold for $81,000 at auction because the error was clear and the coin was in top condition. Off-center coins are also worth a lot. This happens when the coin is not lined up right in the machine. Part of the design is missing or pushed to the side. If the date and mint mark can still be seen, the coin can sell for thousands. Other errors like clipped planchets, die cracks, or missing parts of the design are also worth good money if they are rare and the coin looks nice. So how can you tell if you have a rare 1990 DNickel? First, check the date. It must say 1990. Look on the back of the coin, to the right of Monticello. You should see a small D. That means it was made in Denver. Now check the color. If it looks more red or brown than silver, it might have been struck on the wrong blank. That is a big clue. Next, check the condition. A coin with no scratches or wear is worth much more. This is called mint state. A shiny, clean coin that still looks brand new can be worth thousands more than a worn one. But don't clean your coin. Cleaning can ruin it. If you think you have a rare coin, take it to a coin shop. Or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will check the coin and tell you if it's real and how much it's worth. Many people have found valuable coins by just checking their change. These rare nickels are out there. You might find one in a coin jar, in a drawer, or even from the store. Most people don't look. But now you know what to look for. You know the secret. And you might be the next person to find a nickel worth $81,000 or more. Imagine showing your friends or family that your old nickel is worth more than a car. Or even more than a house. That's the fun part of coin hunting. You never know what treasure you'll find, and it only takes one lucky coin to change your life. So go check your coins today. Look through your old change. Ask your family if they have any nickels from 1990. Use a light, a magnifier, or your phone. Take your time. You could be just one coin away from a huge surprise.